Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Bell. It is Thursday. It is May 9th, 2024. It is 60 seconds after the bell, which means it's time to go beyond the news, beyond the charts, beyond all this garbage this week, and beyond the bell. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at the Blue Sky Trading Company for the clearest path to a live brokerage account. Live trading with Mike every day in the Discord. At this outstanding show, you have no reason to get your accounts or get your education anywhere else. Check us out at bluesky.pro. Blue Sky sponsors this show. No blue skies here in the Chicagoland area. Nothing but storms and torrential rain, tornadoes all over the Midwest. So if you're the praying type, I ask for some prayers for some of my Midwestern brethren who have been dealt with some pretty serious tornadoes in Michigan, downstate Indiana, Missouri. It's been thankfully nothing serious here. Pretty windy, some lightning, some thunder, but just in the Chicagoland area, just a lot of wind and a lot of rain. But, you know, it's the Midwest. We're used to that, right? So look at everyone in the chat today. It's almost like we're doing a giveaway today. I'm going to announce the giveaway momentarily, guys. But we have a couple of things to go over first. First of all, hello to Mike. God, I can't catch up with everyone here. Let's go. Hello, Saif, Yenny, Raxeth, T.O., Drawdown. Good to see you, Drawdown. Drawdown's a member of my free community. I had a nice conversation with him during office hours yesterday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you were green today, Drawdown. Yenny, Chris, Raxeth, Rocco, Paul, Chris, Henrik, Paul, Moroccan, Brian, Rich, TCG, Matt, Optic I am. I hope you're a eye doctor. That would be kind of funny. Anyway, guys, we got a couple of housekeeping things to talk about before we get deep into the show today. First of all, Blue Sky still has its premium account 50% off sale going on right now. The 25K account, the 50K account, the 100K account, all on sale. Use May 50 off as your coupon code. That expires tomorrow night at midnight, guys. So if your paycheck's hitting the account tomorrow morning, for just $68, you can get in. It's one of the lowest prices I've ever seen to get into a Blue Sky account, which, again, $68 is all it takes for a 25K account. Pass that with 25% consistency, make it to the brokerage, and that $68 is going to be returned to you whenever you pass. So, and guys, unlike some other companies, I had somebody tell me this today, not naming the company or whatever this is for the lifetime of your evaluation. So, like, for example, if you get the 50K account at $95 and you don't pass or fail within that, but you need an extra month, it's still only $95. It doesn't go up to the regular price. And again, you can get that first month's fee back at that point. And if your account is in a failing state when they reset, you get a new eval at that point. It's one of the really cool things. I know a lot of companies do that, but actually Blue Sky started doing that before most of the other companies. So a little bit of a trendsetter there. But anyway, yeah, guys, so I know there was much discussion about VAT and the value-added tax and all that. I can tell you, as somebody who the products on my website are available overseas as well, that's unavoidable. And I know some people, well, this company doesn't do that. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe they pay it on the back end or something. But and it sucks when your country charges you 20, 30, 40. I know, but there's literally nothing we can do about that and still be in compliance. And especially, me being a company of one, Blue Sky being a smaller company. I'm not saying we don't have lawyers. I'm just saying we don't have the lawyers some of the big boys are that can sit there and fight some of that stuff or worry about. No, it's just honestly, call your elected officials. Let them know you're not a fan of things like that. But anyway, that's the whole thing. Danny, we'll get into that momentarily. The other thing I want to tell you about, and Danny, thank you for the lead in there. You guys have asked. I'm doing a free event tonight at 7:00 Eastern. I had to zoom in on my flyer here, so bear with me. But tonight at 7:00, the 80-20 rule. I'm doing a spring webinar series. I did a webinar 2 weeks ago, doing one 2 weeks from now, and doing tonight. They all revolve around how I view the markets as a whole. So what am I looking at before I even get down into the markets to trade? I'm going to put, guys, in the right there. You got to be a member of my free guild to get into the event tonight, and I just put the address right there in the chat. So with that, guys, it is time for the big picture. Now, the giveaways today, guys, it's a little unique for a Thursday giveaway. First of all, the crown jewel of the giveaways today, I am giving away a free one-on-one. I do not do that very often. In fact, I only discount my one-on-ones. My one-on-ones are $300 an hour. I only discount them to about $100 3 times a year. I got one of those coming up. I'll tell you about that in a few weeks, but I got to get through a couple of things first. But I only give away about 3 or 4 of these. I only do about 3 or 4 of these giveaways for one-on-ones every probably 4 or 5, 6 months, and I'm doing that today. So the winner of that final spin of the wheel will get I say 60 minutes, but it's not like I put a timer on it. We'll get a one-on-one from me. We'll sit down, we'll drill down, we'll hope, we can talk whatever you want trading-wise. I can help you evaluate your journal. I can help you, take a look at some of your strategies, trading psychology, whatever you want to get into. And Blue Sky has been kind enough today. They will be giving away 4 Blue Sky clocks. So we will do 5 spins of the wheel. We will go. Oh, thank you. I was just going to ask Raj in our home office in Santa Claus, Indiana, to post that Gleam link. And so, yeah, guys, let's get some likes. I'm not going to mandate that you get 100 likes today. I probably should, but it's been a long day for me. Just kind of been one of those weird. It's been a weird week. I'll get into that momentarily. But guys, one of the reasons it's been a weird week, it's just been. This isn't a family show, but I try to keep it as clean as possible, except for the occasional time I slip up. It's been a poopy trading week, right? Like, I have about a 6-week-old niece, right? My sister and her husband's first baby. Oh, of course, adorable little girl. She's basically this market has been what she puts in her diaper about 5 or 6 times a day. That's been it. And I haven't seen it, but I've heard it and I've smelled it, and that's enough for me. So, it's one of those, Blue Sky time on your wall. Well, actually, Mike, if you don't win, you can go ahead and buy that. Actually, Raj, if you don't mind, if you could throw in the link to the store. Most of the stuff is pretty reasonable. I probably should pick up a Blue Sky coffee cup or something for the show, right? That would look good to have a Blue Sky coffee mug. But there you go. There's the link. So again, you've got 3 links there. First, sign up for the giveaway. Okay. Second, go into my day trading guild, the free community there. Sign up for that to come to the event tonight. And 3, go buy yourself some Blue Sky merch. Right. Let's support. Again, the reason I'm here, I'm not a Blue Sky employee, but I do work with them, and they're kind enough to compensate me for this show. But we have a very unified vision, right? Education is vitally important. None of the other companies, guys, do a whole lot in education. And I'm sorry, some vanity project TV thing is not, unless you're like literally doing the education type stuff. They give a crap about education here. And so that's very, very important. But so anyway, guys, we could sit and talk about the markets, and we are, because this is a show about the markets, but the markets have been dead all week. So unless I make 12 trades, I did the math on this because that's the kind of time I had today when I was not fighting with Google about their developer program. That's a whole different thing. I'll get into that later. But anyway, unless I make 12 trades tomorrow, and I average 3 to 4 per day usually, all right, it will be my lowest volume trading week of the year, right? I've made 3 trades this week, and we're on Thursday. Now I'm pretty green for the week, up a couple grand. That's nice, right? But no offense, that's a good day for me, let alone a week. So it's been frustrating. These are the weeks that frustrate me, guys. And I told you, I talked through on Tuesday's show how Monday and Tuesday, couple days of not great sleep, just a lot of things. I take these weeks because listen, there's 52 weeks a year. Honestly, 20 of them will be good weeks. 20 of them won't be, will be okay weeks. It's what, the rest that are they really crappy weeks? Are they, so it's life has its ups and downs just as the markets do. But I always use these as learning points because I teach trading for a living. But, my situation is unique amongst most of the clients that I work with. So when I have these outside things come in, and we don't need to get into the whole thing. I had some maintenance had to be done in the house today. And it basically, the maintenance guy shows up 3 hours early as opposed to 3 hours late. Screwed up my whole day schedule. All right. But you know what? First of all, hashtag first world problems, right? And second of all, again, I use this I always going to remind myself that there's learning opportunities within that for people that when somebody I'm a single dude, no kids, so when I work with somebody who has 2 kids and has to deal with that, there can be something lost in translation with that because it's very easy for me to say, well, you got to find time to learn, to watch my videos or do this or do that, and where do I have the time, right? And so like I said, it can be a helpful reminder to me that not everybody is able to make trading the center of their life right now. Right. But virtually all of us, myself included, well, I did literally, quit our outside of trading jobs to trade for a full time if we could. But we got to get there. We got to learn the necessary skills. So, yeah. So why has the NQ been all over? The NQ hasn't been all over anything, Sage. The NQ has been... Well, I was talking with a friend earlier, and I had a very probably not PG way to describe the NQ and what it does or has not done over the past few days. But like I said, it's been a family show, so I I try to keep it fairly PG, or at least PG-13. But yeah, no, the NQ, it's not just the NQ. The ES hasn't been much better, and the ES is, especially when you zoom out a little bit, guys. Although the ES did perk up a little bit later in the day, it had a much better day than the NQ. Still just we're still just kind of consolidating here. Although, yeah, the NQ, or excuse me, the ES. Let's get our thing on here. So for me, the next level to watch on the ES is, of course, 5250, followed by 5300. I watch the hundreds on the NQ very closely, and I watch the 50s on the ES very closely. But what's tough about the ES right now is it's basically coming back into this zone where there's a lot of what I call noise on the chart, right? So support area around 5,200. The good news is this continues a bullish case because we held 5,200, right? 5,200 used to be support, then it gave out, and we had it all the way down to 5,000. And now not only are we back up to 5,200, but we're holding that and starting to push up towards 5,300. With this breakout, my thesis will be bullish up to 5,300, or it'll move to a neutral thesis if we come back below 5220 and move back into that zone. Okay. So first of all, Sage, thank you for the questions. I appreciate that. So let me try to tackle those. What should be done when the markets act this way, all over in the sense just not following a direction, go anywhere? So first of all, Sage, I like to call these a politician's market, right? Because, and this isn't to bag on a particular politician or a particular party, but most of us know politicians as people who can say a lot without saying anything, or they can talk a lot without saying anything, right? I remember there was I watched my local representative make a speech a couple years ago on something, and the guy talked for 30 minutes, and at the end, I couldn't, I asked myself a question, like, whoa, wait, what did he just say? Like, what is he for or against? And you don't know, right? But the markets were like that. They move a lot, but they don't go anywhere, right? The NQ is a great example of this. For the last couple of days, we've basically had a similar pattern, right? Move down, move up, then we kind of come back into VWAP and we hold VWAP. Now, again, we did push up a little later in the day, but basically the majority of the price action in the NQ, about 80% of the price action today happened in this little area here, which was only about a 50-point range. So there's not a whole lot to do. The good news is it was a little more active today than it was, especially on Monday and Tuesday. So the fact that we're at least, I think, attempting to break out over this the structure, I think, is very important. Yeah, but Sage, say not following structure, but keep in mind, okay, you're talking market structure, so I'm assuming you're like me, you're a technical analyst, right? If you're looking at charts, you're looking at anything that involves price or volume and not the fundamentals of the markets and all of that, you're technical traders, you're technical analyst, right? Like, that's what 99% of retail traders are. Keep in mind, though, all of that is just a construct in which we view the markets, right? So structure, right, is really only a context that we place on the markets, and so to that end, there's times where the markets just don't make sense because we don't have all the information. We don't know. We have the dome, we have heat maps, we all that kind of stuff. We have time and sales, but we really don't know. Like at any given trade, is it another retail trader? Is it an algo? Is it an HFT? Is it a fund? Is it BlackRock? Like, we don't know, right? And so that's why technical analysis makes a lot of sense for us. But because it's a construct we place on the markets and not that the market gives us necessarily, it's a little bit of a two-way street, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's not. There's times when the markets are just not going to make sense to us, and that's okay. So what do we do? And that's the more appropriate question. Well, guys, I just explained to you what I'm doing. I'm only trading my setups, and if my setups, if I make a trade, it's a setup. It's one of my setups. It's an RTT long, RTT short, -1 standard deviation bounce, +1 standard deviation bounce, VWAP tap long, VWAP tap short, market structure break, Renko head and shoulders. These are all just plays that I have, right? If you're making a trade, and I'm not saying you got to name all your, but you have a playbook for that trade. And let's say you have playbook 1, 2, and 3. Every trade that you make should be 1, 2, or 3. If you're just, again, I say this ad nauseum on this show, and you're going to keep hearing it. If you're buying just because you think the markets are going to go up or selling just because you think the markets are going to go down, then what are you doing, right? Like, if somebody asks me, why are you buying there? And I say, well, because the markets are going to go up. They say, their next question is why. And then I can tell them, well, this particular pattern of mine is a play on the cup and handle pattern. It's basically a retest of a new high. And once we punch through that particular high, in theory, we've got an ATR plus or whatever, so I can explain it. Okay. And honestly, guys, I found the best trades in, the old expression, ELI 5, explain like I'm 5. I don't expect a 5-year-old to understand the markets, but something like this, guys, right? Like, the old break, retest, and go. If I can just tell a 5-year-old, hey, when this line goes over this line or this little candlestick goes over this line, then I'm buying, right? And yes, that's a gross oversimplification of some patterns. But essentially, that's what trading is, guys, right? It's just taking a particular pattern based on our prior experience with that pattern, be it, back testing, live testing, for, all of that stuff, and putting together these playbooks. So what do? Honestly, guys, what I do today is no different than what I did yesterday or the day before or last week or last month or last year. If I see a setup, I take my setup. If I don't trade. End of discussion. End of story. Matt, I saw you made 3 trades today. Well, I got 3 good setups. Now, there can be preconditions to your trading. Like for me, as you guys know, I've talked about on the show, and I already did an ATR breakdown this week, so I'm not going to do another one today, but the average true range is very important to me. Okay, so for me, if the ATR is below 18, I am very, very cautious. If the ATR, and this is the 5-minute ATR on the NQ, and yes, this affects how I trade the ES or YM or whatever as well. Below 15, I do not trade. That is a red light. So yellow light in this zone here, red light below here. Okay, now, we had some pretty good ATR today. It was a little better today. But most of this week, we have spent below 18 and a large portion below 15. So, ATR is below 15? Well, I guess I'm working on emails right now. Okay? And I'm not saying that's for everybody, and I'm not saying that's, a perfect system, but it's something that has served me very well. There are certain red light, green light, yellow light conditions within the market, right? Like I look at ADD, I look at the VIX, I look at a lot of different market indicators. But if those are all in the green, right? The ATR is 20. The VIX isn't giving me a signal either way. The ADD is, let's say, plus 1,000, and I get a long trade, then I take my setup. That's it. Okay. All right, guys. I will give you this is now a 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning to sign up for the giveaway. Again, we are giving away 4 clocks and one one-on-one session with yours truly. The last 2 of these, I've given away 2 of these this year, and it's a lot of pressure on whoever wins this, because I've done 2 of these this year, 2 free giveaways, and both of the sessions went really, really well. I was really, you come out of, a lot of sessions I come out of feeling pretty good. I think 90% of the one-on-ones, I've done like 300-400 one-on-ones over the several years. 90% of them I come away feeling pretty good. Every now and then you get, it's like life. Every now and then you run into idiots, right? Like the old saying, life is truly not full of idiots. They're just evenly spaced out enough that you run into several every single day. But these last 2 have been some of my better sessions in the last year. Just people showing up, willing to take constructive feedback, willing to listen, willing to learn, answering questions very clearly and distinctly, admitting when they're making mistakes. That's a dream for a trading coach, guys. So a lot of pressure on whoever wins today. All right, my friends. Bought a static 200 and did terrible today. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Lori, but you always have tomorrow, right? And again, the perfect system is following your process. That's correct, Andrew. And guys, people get so discouraged. Honestly, if you have no idea where to begin with your system, right? If you can find, this is sort of the bare bones for what I do, a system, a setup, whatever, that has everybody's trying to, gets out of their trades if they get, like in the NQ. I know a lot of you guys trade the NQ. I don't think it's a great instrument for newer traders. I think you should start with the ES or the YM. They're a lot more, a little less choppy. The description of the NQ as a monkey on meth is really apt. But actually, guys, I think this is a good opportunity to pull up my lesson of the day graphic. I put some time into that, so let's pull that up now. But anyway, guys, there's 2 conditions that my systems have to meet. They have to show at least about a 1.5 to 1 risk reward. Like everyone say, I want to make 100 handles in the NQ, but then they get scared and get out after they're down 8, right? That's, I mean, sure, if you can find the 50 to 1 reward to risk ratio there, I'm all about it. Show me your system if it's got a good, but the other side of that is winning percentage. If you have a 1.5 to 1 risk reward, so let's say in the NQ, you're risking 20 handles to make 30, okay? That's a wide berth, okay? But it's not like a crazy thing. You got plenty of room on the downside, and you just need to get a little more on the upside. And if you just win 50% of the time, really, you don't even need to get 50 to break even. But if you can do those two things, have just one setup, 1.5 to 1 reward to risk, and a 50% winning percentage, you're going to grow that account. That all the only step after that is to scale it, right? Start very small on that and go from there. So hope that helps. Today I got angry on my 50K eval. I went 4 NQs and was liquidated, just 1 point above the local bottom. Okay, well, I don't really have anything to add to that. You know, I understand, guys. Listen, you know, if you're trading an eval, and let's say you've got, I'll say this while I'm pulling up the names here, and let's say you've got a situation where, you know, you're very close to losing it, right? So you're within 200 points of failing the eval, right? It can be very tempting to just YOLO something, right? Like that. Go 10 NQ, and if it gets you $1,000 back, great. If it busts you out, it busts you out. And I'm not even saying I'm necessarily completely opposed to that, because I understand how the numbers work and the odds work and all that. But at the same time, that's a bad habit to get into. So just if you're going to insist on doing that, be very, very careful, and don't only do that if you're very, very close to failing. Otherwise, you know, habits, things like that, guys, can be very habit forming. Okay, so just be careful. Okay, all right, guys. So we are. First of all, any questions? And guys, I do want to put this slide up. If you have any questions ever about this that you want to answer it on the show, or anything specifically from me, feel free to reach out to me, Trader Matt at Discord. Or, you know, Trader Matt is my Discord name, Matt at TiresiasTrading.com. That's TIRESIS trading.com. And once again, guys, I'm going to put the link to sign up for my free community in here, and because I'll be going live at 7 o'clock Eastern tonight to talk about the markets, which is what I do for a living. Or sort of a side living, right? All right, guys, so we've got 5 spins of the wheel. The first 4 spins of the wheel are for blue sky clocks. That's a literal thing. That's not like a euphemism or something. You will get a little clock. And again, guys, give us 3 business days to reach out to you on these giveaways. So obviously wait until Monday, end of day, or really Tuesday, end of day. If you haven't heard anything, if you're getting some merch, you will get a notification to your email when it ships with the tracking number and all that stuff. So you don't need to reach out on that. For anything from me, if you don't hear from me by Tuesday, and guys, if you've ever won something from me in the past, you don't hear from me, check, I mean, you can reach out to me, but check your spam, because I send everything from my site email, and if you haven't signed up for anything, it probably goes to your spam folder. So, you know, you click on 2 or 3 of my emails, that'll whitelist them automatically and put them in your inbox. So, yeah. How does your name get in the spin? You had we put the link. The link is up at the top of the page. It's still up there, although it's closed right now. You got to click on that, right? We put that link in the chat. All right, guys. So 4 spins of the wheel for blue sky clocks, and away we go. Gilgamesh Archer. That is one of the better names that I've ever seen win. I would even say it's epic. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to amuse myself from time to time. So Gilgamesh Archer, congratulations. You have won a blue sky clock. 3 more spins of the wheel for blue sky clock. Syph, congratulations. You have won a blue sky clock. So I expect to see these up on people's walls. Tag Blue Sky, tag me in the photos when you put those up. All right, so congratulations. 2 more spins of the wheel for Blue Sky clocks. Okay, Virtunus, congratulations. You have won a Blue Sky clock. So we now have one more spin of the wheel for a blue sky clock. Literally a clock. It goes in your wall. It's pretty handy. Reginaldo Pires, congratulations. You have won a blue sky clock. All right, guys. So the final spin of the wheel today is a one-on-one coaching session with yours truly. So like I said, Blue Sky will provide me with your email address. I will reach out from my, well, not my personal email address, my personal business address, and I just send you a link to my calendar. You can go right in there and pick your time. Again, it's listed for an hour, but honestly, I've had some of these go 45 minutes. I've had some of these go an hour and a half. I'll let you know if I have a hard stop, but I do. It's not like I'm mid-sentence in 60 minutes and it cuts off. So, but I do say 60 minutes just so it doesn't end up as 3 hours. But anyway, so the winner of this spin will get a one-on-one coaching session with myself. We can talk anything training related that you'd like. Raxeth, my man, congratulations. So, Raxeth, I look forward to talking with you sometime in the coming weeks, and I will reach out to you. Like I said, sometime in the next I'll reach out sometime in the next week and a half. No, I should be able to reach out on Monday. So as soon as I'll reach out on Monday, and then sometime depending on availability and all that, I will just go ahead and look forward to speaking with you. So okay. Do we have anything? Okay. So one more time, guys, the Blue Sky 50% off sale is live now, and it ends tomorrow at 1 minute before midnight Eastern time. So make sure you do that for all you weirdos on Eastern time. Us central boys here, we got it under control. We're done at 3 o'clock. In theory, I obviously do the show, and then I have my live webinar tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. Part of my spring webinar series about how I view the market sort of from the top down. Anyway, guys, thank you for another week of shows here on Beyond the Bell. Really good discussion this week. Love what our numbers are doing. Yeah, make sure you give us a like before you leave. Let's get our message out there. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I will see you next week for another edition of Beyond the Bell. Have a great night.